Are you ready to get your fantasy on? Here's Show Us Your TDs. It's grind time!
Let's go! Welcome back to another installment of Show Us Your TDs. It's your boy Goobie here, and I'd like to take a minute, so sit back and relax, take the heat off, and I'm going to tell you how I lost fair and square. But first, Melky, how you doing?
Ayo, Mr. Milk Chocolate, aka the real Mr. Big, is in the hizzy. He's doing all right. It's a bittersweet symphony in his world. Why? You'll find out in the next segment. Spoiler alert, it has something to do with the secret herbs and spices from Colonel Sanders.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, did you just call yourself Mr. Big?
I did.
Yo, do you remember me with the Mr. Big?
That's why I brought it up. I was waiting for you to catch on. I'm like, come on.
Oh man, yeah, I remember that, putting that shit in the mailbox because I was like, why? I don't fucking like Mr. Big. Why did I buy this?
Where did you get the Mr. Big from?
We got it at the gas station.
Okay, that's where it was. I was wondering, why is he holding a Mr. Big for no reason? Right, we did stop there. Okay.
Yeah, we walked to the gas station and we started walking back to your place.
Yeah.
And we were right by Lena's house.
Yes, it was right at Lena's house.
And then I just put it in some guy's newspaper. It was hot out, so it probably got melted and all sticky.
Were you ever a fan of the chocolate bar?
No, I don't like sweets. The only thing I do like are Reese's Pieces, like the M&M kind of ones.
Yeah, the candy shell.
Yeah, because that shit's bomb. And then peanut M&Ms. But other than that, I don't eat candy.
Yeah, that was a weird day.
Yeah.
But before we get started, I just want to address something I brought up last week.
Okay.
I remember our thankful segment for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
I said I was thankful for strudel.
Yeah.
Okay. So I screwed up big time. I'm not thankful for strudel. I'm thankful for my strudel. Just to clarify everything.
I didn't want to say anything on the podcast, but I thought you fucked up. So yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I was watching some rock clips on YouTube, and I'm like, wait a minute, the people strudel. Oh yeah, I fucked up.
Yeah.
So, especially you Americans, I am thankful for my strudel. But what I'm not thankful for is another losing week of fantasy football. That's all she wrote for me. I'm officially done. I cannot make the playoffs. My sorry ass lost again. But we're not going to start with me. We're going to start with some good news. Well, it's not good news for him either, but he still has a playoff spot. So, Goobie, take it away. How did you do this week?
I lost finally after winning 6 in a row. I finally got an L, all thanks to one player, Josh Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
I would not have lost if Josh Jacobs played normally. But Josh Jacobs balled out, and we'll talk about that later. Tua Tagovailoa, he only did 20 points. In the end, I still did the math. Even if I started Foreman and Latavius Murray instead of Pollard and McLaurin, and even if I started Kirk Cousins, I still would have lost by 2 points. So I'm not too upset because you know how mad people get when your bench goes off. You're like, I could have won if I just played this one. That doesn't happen. I still lose. So yeah. CeeDee Lamb 14 points, T Higgins 20 points, Hopkins 16 points. My big three still doing big three numbers. I can't complain there. Eckler's got 19 points. Tony Pollard 7 points. Melky, should I start to worry and not play Pollard?
Yeah, because Jerry Jones is faithful and loyal to Zeke for whatever reason, and instead of putting the best player out there, he puts the most expensive player out there. So I would probably be a little hesitant to start him unless it's a very bad defense.
Yeah.
And you can get bang for your buck off of Pollard. But Zeke is getting all the touchdowns. Pollard's doing all the heavy lifting. Zeke is just stealing all the touchdowns.
Yeah, well, because once it gets to the goal line, it's like, let's just bust it in with Zeke because he's a bigger back. Unfortunately, though, I'm going to have to stick with Pollard this week because Foreman's on a bye. But, yeah, so I lost 157 to 137. And, I mean, it was about time. I mean, I won 6 in a row. I actually said last week I was going to lose this week.
Yeah, you threw caution to the wind. No, you didn't throw caution to the wind. Sorry. You were worried. You were a little hesitant. And I told you all things come to an end. So you should be happy. 6 in a row. That's a long winning streak. That's most than the Texans have done and any other loser team in the NFL right now. So
I mean,
it's long. It's way longer than anything the Broncos have done this year too. So you should be very proud.
Yeah, I mean, when you start your season 1-4, and you're now 7-5, things look good. So
very good.
Yeah, so I'm not too disappointed. I kind of saw this coming. Though Josh Jacobs, fuck, if he didn't have 45 points, I'd probably be winning this one. So
86 yards.
Yeah, I know. All right, Melky, how did you do this week?
Well, my matchup wasn't as close as yours. I got dummied 155 to 107. And unlike you, it didn't matter if I played my bench, I still would have lost because my team is a pile of shit. So I'm going to go back to tradition and start with calling out names. CMC, 6.9 points. That's all. That's all you could give me. World-class running back, and you shit the bed. Thanks a lot, you bastard. Christian Kirk, 6.10 points.
Yep.
Really? You had a favorable matchup, and you still blew it. Thanks a lot. Thanks for nothing, you butthole. And last but not least, a man who's no longer on my team because I just can't have any LA Ram players on my team right now. Tyler Higbee, 0. Donut.
Big old 0.
You may as well have not played. It allowed me to go grab someone off the wire and throw your ass on the IR so that I would at least have a chance. But no, you decided to stick it out and be brave and produce nothing. So because of that, I dropped your monkey ass off my team and you can be someone else's problem. Fuck you. And because of that, I'm officially done. Season's over. I can't make the playoffs. My point total is too low. It's just been a horrible season for the Melk-Man. And it's a lesson here that I need to study more when it comes to drafting. Yeah, it was just unbelievable, man. Like, my team should be good. I feel like my team is better than like half our league.
Yeah.
And I'm in last place.
Yeah. What's my number 1 rule?
Don't eat Taco Bell after 8.
Well, yes. But it's always draft well. It's all about the drafts.
Bro, I was drafting well 2 years ago when I was 13-3. 3 years ago, sorry, destroying all of you.
Did you win?
And no, I lost because of my kicker. I lost in the semifinals to Adam. That was the split year.
That was a split year? Okay. I was going to say, is that the year I won? No.
No, you won 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And Devin won last year.
Yeah. But yeah, it's all about the draft, man. It's what it is. So it is what it is, right? Like you take the L's and then, you take the W's, which I'm going to do this week.
Are you now?
I think so.
Who are you playing?
I hope so. I'm playing another Quan Bites the Dust. Lisa, I'm predicted to win 131 to 107.
Her team's flaming garbage, and I lost to her.
Yeah. So, it's any given Sunday, though, right? So people can win. She's got some powerhouses on her team. So let's go over the matchup. We got Tua Tagovailoa versus Aaron Rodgers, which I feel that should change to Justin Fields because Justin Fields is putting up numbers.
And he's playing.
And he's playing. CD Lamb versus Pittman Jr. Obviously, CD Lamb. T. Higgins versus Ayuk. Obviously, T. Higgins. Terry McLaurin versus Drake London. I'm going to give this one up to London. He's playing versus Pittsburgh. It's in Atlanta. So I think London could have a game.
Over McLaurin? Are you mad?
McLaurin's playing a divisional game against the Giants.
All the more reason
in New York.
All the more reason to ball out. I'm telling you, the Giants are pretenders.
All right. Austin Eckler versus Saquon Barkley.
Ooh, that's juicy. That's a juicy matchup.
Big matchup right there. Pollard versus Travis Etienne. If he plays.
Etienne's playing.
I'm sure he will, but he is.
No, he already said he's playing.
Just because he says he's playing
doesn't
mean the coach.
The team said it was on the team site. They said he's playing.
Fairmouth versus
Fairmouth.
It's Moose. It's
it's pronounced mouth. I got it wrong all the time too.
And Morrow? I don't even know. Moreau, yeah, from tight end for Vegas.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because people are on bye weeks, I have to start Latavius Murray. But I don't know why. She had I guess so she's probably gonna play, I'd say, Pierce. She has Michael Carter in right now. He's doubtful. He's at 0. He's at 0.69. So I'm gonna assume that she's gonna play Pierce over over Carter.
She'll probably pick the best player that's available,
which is only Pierce,
unless she's picking up someone on the
unless Jamar Chase plays.
He is playing. He's supposed to be playing.
Well, then I don't know why he's on the bench.
Well, it's because it's Lisa.
Okay. Well, and then we got Daniel Carlson versus Gold and Green Bay versus Pittsburgh. I am benching San Fran's defense because Miami likes to put up points. Whether or not they win, I don't know. I still think Miami wins this game.
Nope. We're going to talk about that. Don't say any more. We're going to talk about that on Toonie Bets.
But yeah, this is why I picked up Green Bay. I'm just saying, I picked up Green Bay. You know, it is what it is. Melky, chances. Yes, no, maybe so.
You're going to destroy her. And
I hope so.
And it's going to be painful for her because I think she has the 7th spot. Does she have the 7th spot? Yeah. So that's just going to end her season right there. She has nothing left, really. I mean, if Chase plays, it's a big pick. It's a big gain for her, but I don't think it's enough to get her the win. You just have too much talent on your side.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you want to give out any pointers. Do I start Juju over Murray? Murray's playing Baltimore in Baltimore.
I don't know if you read the score. Sit him, play him or sit him or whatever it's called.
No, I haven't.
They say to sit Murray, don't play him, because Boone is back, and Russ is a big fucking steam pile of a mess right now. So
yeah,
if I'm you, I'm probably not playing any Denver players right now. That team is in shambles. He had half the team show up for his birthday, and the other half didn't.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, okay. Well, then I guess maybe Juju Smith will see the light of day. He hasn't done very well in the past couple of weeks, but you never know.
He's also had a concussion, so I think it's just him shaking the cobwebs and getting back to the Juju form a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. He had 4.3, then he had the concussion. He was out, and then he had 5.3, So yeah, we'll see. But
I wouldn't play Murray. I'm just saying.
I like my chances. I like my chances of winning this week. Melky though,
Yo.
you winning this week.
I mean, now I'm just playing spoiler, so to like anybody's chances of winning first place or getting into the playoffs. So I have a date with Devontae's Inferno. Love the name, by the way. Projections are 130 to 137. I'll lay down the matchups for you. Dak Prescott versus Patrick Mahomes. No brainer. Best quarterback in the league, Patrick Mahomes, obviously. All hail the Chiefs. AJ Brown with a nice matchup this week, finally, against his former team in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Against Devontae Adams. I mean, Adams is way better than AJ Brown, so give it to Devontae. Then it gets a little dicey. Keenan Allen versus rookie wonder Garrett Wilson. He's got a better quarterback now. That was egg on our face. We said he was going to be a huge bust.
Yeah, and he did not disappoint.
Absolutely not. He was marvelous.
Yeah.
Then we got Christian Kirk versus Darius Slayton, your former favorite wide receiver from the Giants.
I never
didn't you have a hard on for him last season?
No.
You grabbed him off the wire, like, oh, Slayton, he's gonna be great for trade bait.
No.
I'm pretty sure that you did. We'll go back to the tapes. Then we got Christian McCaffrey versus Derrick Henry. I'm gonna give this to Henry just because he's the king. We got Zeke Elliott versus Jamal Williams. We'll go with a wash here because you never know what Swift or Williams are going to do. And I feel like Williams is a touchdown machine. And so is Zeke. They don't really do anything else. So I don't know. It could go either way. And I have to pick up Tyler Conklin because Njoku is hurt after he balled out last week. So that's just my luck with tight ends.
Hey, there's a tight end on the wire that you can pick up.
I already put the claim. Don't worry. Against Mark Andrews, definitely Mark Andrews. He's a top 3 tight end. Then we got Najee Harris versus Adam Thielen. I'm going to give it to Najee. He's been pretty good lately. Adam Thielen is like the forgotten guy on that team for whatever reason.
Child, yeah.
Then Tyler Bass against the best kicker in the league, Goobie, Justin Tucker. Tucker always. Then we rounding it off, we got the Tampa Bay defense and the Buffalo defense. And I like Tampa Bay's matchup better against New Orleans. So, yeah, I think everything is more on his side. But for some reason, now that shit doesn't matter, I think I'm going to squeak one out. What do you think?
I think you can win this week. I don't see why not. I mean, it's good to play spoiler. Prescott's got a good matchup against Indy.
He's got a great matchup against Indy.
So that could be a good thing. I think AJ Brown's going to show Tennessee why they shouldn't have let him go.
Mm-hmm.
You never know with Christian Kirk. He's a hit or miss.
Well, they're playing against a horrible Detroit team. So I feel like everybody's going to get some love on Sunday.
Yeah. And then, I mean, it's hard to tell with Zeke because they're now really invested in that two-way back, like between Zeke and Pollard. So you never know who's going to get what. But in the end, you always know that Zeke, if it's a goal line, it's going to him.
That's why he's playing. That's why he's in.
So, yeah, I think he can win. Yeah, I see no. I mean, Darius Slayton. It's hard to like. I don't see him doing much. Jacksonville's defense is okay, so I could see Williams only putting up like 10. So yeah, I give you a W. I give you a W this week.
Yeah. Any other advice? Like, it's tough because Olave is such a good wide receiver, but that Tampa Bay defense is so good. So I'm kind of steering clear of that.
Was Olave done?
He didn't do anything.
18, 5, 10.
but he's balled out before. He's the number one with Michael Thomas gone.
Yeah. It's hard to say. I'd maybe even start Burks.
I'm not starting Traylon.
Why?
His touchdown was a fucking fluke last week. Okay, I'm not starting him.
I'm just saying.
Not starting him.
I'm just saying you should have started him last week, like I told you.
No, I should have started Moore because Moore was the one that went all out. But he's on bye.
What do you got to lose?
Yeah, you're right. I could just fucking turn things upside down and just start whomever. But no, I like who I have inserted in the lineup right now. I just, like I said, I want to play spoiler. I want people to be pissed off that they have to face me, and I'm playing for nothing and they're playing for something. So, yeah, Kevin, sorry, it's your turn to go down.
All right. Let's steer away from this and let's go into some highlights. And let's talk Jaguars beating the Ravens. That was a confusing one for me when I saw the score. But I mean, it was close, 28-27. Trevor Lawrence, 29 of 37, 321 yards, 3 touchdowns. I'm gonna butcher this name, Jamaikel Hasty. I don't even know how to say it. Do you know how to say his first name? Tell me you know how to say his first name.
It's the guy I'm doing boomer bust on. It's Jamichael.
Jamichael. Okay, well, fuck. I don't know. He had a game. I'm telling you, some of these names is hard to pronounce. I'm sorry, but he had a game. 5 receptions, 67 yards, 1 touchdown. 12 carries for 28 yards. Jaguars, I think they're like you now. They're just plain spoiler. And
what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it because, I mean, it's showing that the young talent is coming out for these guys and they're here to play. Lamar Jackson didn't really look like Lamar. He only had 89 yards rushing. Where's the 100 mark in rushing? 254 yards passing, 1 touchdown. It's not the greatest from them, but Melky. Do the Ravens bounce back this week?
Who were they playing this week?
They are playing the Denver Broncos.
Denver Broncos. Okay, so I'm going to answer that question, and then I'm going to elaborate on the Ravens issues, okay?
Oh.
So, yes, they will beat the Broncos because everybody beats the Broncos.
Yeah.
And going with the Ravens, they are the product of their own demise. You want your quarterback to do everything.
Yeah.
But he has nothing really to work with. You had Deshaun Jackson with that over 60 plus yard catch. You're going to put your faith in a 35-year-old wide receiver? Probably not. You should have surrounded him with other talent. Like Bateman is gone for the year. Why didn't you go sign someone?
Odell?
What? Unless they're secretly in touch with him, they should really reach out and grab him. It's a shame because you're wasting Lamar's talent, and you're also hindering yourself because guess who's coming for you in that division? The Bengals.
Yeah.
The Bengals are coming, and they're going to be at full strength very soon. So you're hindering your chances of winning the division, getting a home playoff game, and advancing yourself further. All because you don't want to pay Lamar $400 million or whatever the case may be. It's fucking stupid. It's selfish on their part, and they're going to be their own demise.
What do you think about this? All right. Lamar Jackson at center. Okay. Odell Beckham Jr., Terrell Owens, and Chad Ochocinco.
So
I know they old as fuck, but they could probably still play.
I bet you Terrell Owens could still play.
Oh, 100. So can Chad Ochocinco, man.
I
They're
feel
both
like Ocho's just taking it easy. Like I don't know what he's done besides box.
yeah.
I don't know what else he's done like outside. So I don't know about Ocho, but I've seen what Terrell's been doing. He played with Johnny Manziel
Yeah.
in that shitty league. So I would I would have taken Terrell Owens over Deshaun Jackson. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. But
He's
yeah,
a-
imagine that little lineup right there. That'd be dope.
That'd be pretty insane. I just don't know why Baltimore refuses to help this man. Like
Yeah.
if you don't pay him, someone else is.
Oh, 100%. Washington,
Yeah, there are teams out there that are gonna throw money at him. So
him and McLaurin. Be good.
that's what I mean. Like there are other teams that would gladly take him off your hands. So why are you hindering yourself and why are you going backwards in the situation there? You're supposed to be building for a championship, and he's a championship caliber quarterback. You can't get him any other weapons besides Andrews. That's a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
But Goobs, you know who's not shit right now? The Washington Commandos. I can't even call them the Commandos because they're winning. They're on fire, Goobs.
It's crazy.
They have a playoff spot now. And they won 19-13 over the Falcons. Marcus Mariota went 15 for 25, 174, a touchdown, an INT, and Taylor Heineke. Where have you been all my life, bro? 14 for 23, 138, two TDs and an INT. Brian Robinson, a man I dropped because he was garbage when I had him.
Yeah.
Had 18 carries, 105 yards, averaged 5.8 yards, and wore a oversized hat at the end of the game. Goobs, I got a big question for you. The defense is on fire. They're looking like they're clicking on all cylinders. Will the Commanders make the playoffs?
No. Like let's take a look at the NFC conference right now. And I'm just gonna say, yeah, it's not gonna happen. There's no way that let's see. I think Seattle can take it. How many
Seattle's looked like shit the last couple of weeks. Their defense sucks.
Yeah, because right now what? The wild card is Cowboys, Giants, Commanders.
Yeah, and then they have the same record, but I think Commanders have a game in hand or whatever.
Yeah. So Seattle, Atlanta, maybe.
Atlanta's not getting in.
I said maybe.
Atlanta's not getting in. It's gonna be for the last two spots. It's gonna be a fight between New York, Washington, and Seattle.
Yeah. Ew, imagine 4 NFC East teams getting into the playoff.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with it. It's just mind-boggling when you think of what you would. How do I put this? When you think of what you thought before the season started,
We were called the NFC least.
yeah,
And we're made fun of. Remember, the AFC West was the powerhouse division.
yeah, no, they're the least now. Was this Brian Robinson's first game back or second?
No, he's been back for a while. He's the one that got shot in the offseason.
Yeah.
He's been back for a while.
Okay.
He's kind of taken Gibson's job. So he'll do a lot of the grounding and pounding. Gibson's good for catching, but it's slowly they're going towards Robinson.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they're phasing Gibson out, but it's working.
Let's talk about another running back. Let's talk Josh Jacobs and the hell of a game he had versus the Seattle Seahawks.
He sunk your battleship.
33 carries. 33 carries, okay? That's a lot. 229 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 receptions for 74 yards. This dude went on a tear. And no one could stop. No one in Seattle could stop him. Raiders won 40-34. Derek Carr, 295 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 INTs. Geno Smith, his counterpart, 328, 2 touchdowns, 1 INT. It's Marquise Goodwin, Tyler Lockett, and DK Metcalf. He has weapons, but it's Geno Smith. He's starting to show his colors again.
I don't think Geno Smith is the problem.
No?
It's a young defense. They're hitting a wall. Some of them are rookies. They're hitting a rookie wall. It's a team that wasn't supposed to do anything, so they've overachieved.
For sure.
And now you're kind of seeing the real team show up, but you can't put the blame on Geno. 328 yards, that's pretty good. 2 touchdowns, that's pretty good.
It doesn't help that their run game didn't go very well. Kenneth Walker had 14 carries for 26 yards and 2 touchdowns. So they really didn't get that going. So maybe that was the problem. I mean, they went to OT, so you can't complain about that. But I don't know. Like you said, the Seahawks are starting to show their colors a little bit. So we'll see what happens. I still think they can make the playoffs.
See, well, that was going to be my question. Are they in trouble?
No, they're not in trouble yet. Lose one more and Washington wins one more and the Giants win one more, then yeah, you could be in trouble.
All right. Well, you know who's not in trouble?
Yeah, I do.
New York Jets. More specifically, Mike White. And he does it again, Goobie. Led his team to a 31-10 win over the Bears. Trevor Siemian, a name I haven't heard about in a long time. I used to call him Trevor Seaman. I'm still going to call him Trevor Seaman. Went 14 for 25, 179 yards, a touchdown, and an INT and that was because Justin Fields was out with an injury.
Yeah.
And Mike White, he went 22 for 28, 315 yards, and 3 touchdowns, Goobie.
We doubted him.
We doubted him. I was saying earlier, egg on our faces. This man is fantastic. His wide receivers put up big numbers because of him. Like Garrett Wilson went 5 receptions, 95 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And a man who wanted out of New York, who you barely saw on the field, Elijah Moore, had 2 receptions, 64 yards, and 1 touchdown. So, Goobs, the ultimate question here, your New York Jets, your second favorite team, is Mike White the answer going forward?
At the moment, yes.
At the moment, or for the rest of the season?
For the rest of the season, probably, yeah, because where has Zach Wilson done these numbers?
He hasn't.
I don't think Zach Wilson has thrown over 300 yards this season.
I don't think the MILF Hunter has either.
I'll fact check that in a bit, but I don't think he has. And 3 touchdowns. Like, yeah, the Jets score touchdowns, but it was normally through their running backs. 3 touchdowns from their quarterback. I think Mike White's the answer right now.
And he's got a cannon too, man. And he makes it look easy. He has the poise. I think Zach Wilson, he's too young. He's rattled. He's worried about getting MILFs. It's a lot to handle for a youngster.
Yes, sir. All right. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. I was gonna go on to the next segment.
Well, yeah. Well, we're gonna talk about someone who's a little more seasoned. We're gonna go to a division that everybody thought was gonna be a powerhouse, but it's more of a doghouse instead. And we're gonna talk about the AFC West, and this is your AFC West bulletin. So let's start with the standings as usual. We've got the KC Chiefs at 9-2. We've got the LA Chargers at 6-5. The Las Vegas Raiders at 4-7. And still last for a second week in a row, it's the Denver Broncos at 3-5. at 3-8. So let's just get this out of the way. Nobody has an answer for the Chiefs. Would you agree?
I would agree.
Well, they crushed the Rams 26-10. Bryce Perkins, I guess Stafford's replacement, went 13 for 23, 100 yards, a TD, and 2 INTs. And the best player, quarterback, just the best player overall in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes, went 27 for 42, 320 passing yards, a touchdown, and an INT. Goobs, we talked about this last week. Are the Chiefs the best team in the NFL?
It's hard to say. Their defense is not as good as Buffalo's defense.
Defense played well last week.
They did play well, but it's Matthew Stafford and the Rams, and unfortunately, they're really garbage this year somehow. I don't know how. I don't understand it. It boggles my mind. You win a Super Bowl and now you're 3-8. It makes no sense to me. But
they're complete shit.
No, they're not the best team in the league yet.
Who's better?
I still think the Bills are better.
Ooh, I would disagree there, but that's okay. We still have 5-6 games left.
Yep.
So there's a lot to be determined still, but as of right now, the Chiefs are the best and they're sitting on top. Their next opponent will be the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, I'll talk about that later, though.
All right, talk about the Chargers, Goobie.
I want to talk about Zach Wilson. Week 8 versus New England, 355 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 INTs. But you're still not the answer.
What did the Chargers do last week?
Chargers got a win versus the Cards, 25-24, nail biter. Justin Herbert, 274 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's more like it, Herbert. Thank you very much. Austin Eckler, he had a decent game. 5 carries, 20 yards. He caught the ball more. 11 receptions, 60 yards, and a touchdown. Now, on the other hand, Kyler Murray. These are some dismal numbers. 191 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 INT. Their bright spot was James Conner, 25 carries, 120 yards.
Beast.
He did well. And obviously, DeAndre Hopkins, 4 receptions, 87 yards, 1 touchdown. With Hollywood Brown back for 6 receptions and 46 yards. That kind of worried me a little bit because I was like, damn, like Hollywood's getting a lot of catches. So it could take away from DeAndre Hopkins, but I don't think so. I think it just, relieves a little bit of pressure from Hopkins, and Hopkins will still do fine. Melky, are the Cardinals, should they be worried? Should they start looking at a new quarterback? Like, what's going on here?
Well, there's a lot that needs to happen in that organization. For one, if I'm them in the offseason, I want to know what Baby Yoda's commitment is to the team.
Yeah.
I want to know that playing football is more important than fucking Call of Duty and any other fucking game he's playing right now. You're getting paid all this money. You just signed an extension. Grow the fuck up. Get serious. You're the face of the franchise. You need to act like it. Because when former teammates like Patrick Peterson say that Kyler Murray only cares about himself, that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
So get your shit together, okay?
Yeah. No, Murray, like, he was going to be a decent quarterback. I don't think he was going to be a Super Bowl champion quarterback, but he could get lucky and win. But right now, it's not looking good at all for him. And I wouldn't be surprised if Arizona drafts a quarterback next year, just in case.
I think they need to have the talk first because his attitude stinks right now. And I would be worried if I'm the front office. I'd be like, we're paying you all this money. You need to start acting like the franchise. But
Yeah.
let's move on. And by the way, the Chargers play the Raiders next week. And we talked Raiders already.
Yeah.
Big win. So we don't need to go there. But let's stick with losers for a sec. And let's talk about the Denver Broncos.
Oh yeah.
Another loss to the Panthers, to Sam Darnold. 23-10. Wilson, let's ride Wilson. Sorry, Russell, let's ride Wilson with another pedestrian performance. 19-35, 145 passing yards and 1 TD. And Sam Darnold, welcome back. Nothing to gloat about, but 11 for 19, 164 and a TD. But DJ Moore though, he must love playing with Sam Darnold. 4 receptions, 6 targets, 103 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
I wish I played you, but I didn't. The Goobs I want to know. No, actually, before I want to know, one of Russell's linemen went in his face and had some words for him because he's sick of the losing as well. So I want to know, Goobs, with all this shit that went down Sunday and just entirely overall, can it get any worse for the Denver Broncos?
Not really. I mean, it could get better. Russell could get hit by a car and not be able to play, and then they have to play somebody else. And I'm sure it would get better. But yeah, no, I don't. Their season's obviously done. They know it's done. Russell needs to take a little me time or take some time with Sierra, go on a holiday to figure out your shit. Woosah, fucking Bad Boys 2, that shit. Just fucking figure your shit out. Come back next season and try to play lights out. And if you don't, I don't see you playing there much longer.
They just signed him to that big deal,
I
and
know.
guess what? The more he loses, the better the Seattle pick is. So could be one of the worst trades in NFL history.
I think so. Honestly.
All right, what do we got next? Oh, sorry. I can edit this shit. And who does Denver play? And Denver plays Baltimore next week, so they're
Gonna lose.
Denver. Okay, say that after. Denver plays Baltimore this week.
They're gonna lose.
And
Again.
that has been your AFC West Bulletin dedicated to Kevin.
All right. So me and Melky were talking. We're talking about drafts, and we're talking what would we do different in our NFL draft. So we're gonna look at our 1 through 16 picks, and we're gonna talk a little bit about where we could have changed things to make our teams better, and if we would keep people where they are. So I'm gonna go first. I'm looking at my draft picks. I went Eckler, AJ Brown, CD Lamb as my top 3. Keeping it.
Can't go wrong there.
Can't go wrong there. Number 4, I picked Cam Akers. Where a lot of people pick Cam Akers is number 4. And that was on the back end of number 4.
I was going to say, did you have a chance to get Hall or no?
No,
Okay.
I did not have a chance to get Hall. That was on the back end of number 4. So he was almost in number 5 territory. And that's exactly where Akers was supposed to. Obviously, we know what happened with Akers. So
I mean, you could have grabbed Montgomery, Singletary, Patterson, but yeah,
Josh Jacobs,
Zeke,
Elliott, right? So there were some players that I could have picked up. So yeah, Cam Akers. And by the way, folks, we are talking about what we know now, obviously. So for what I know now, I would have done Elliott. I would have done Josh Jacobs. I would have done Montgomery. way before Cam Akers. I don't even think Cam Akers is going to be drafted next year. So, yeah, that's one spot where I would change. Then I went T. Higgins, Juju Smith, Dalton Schultz. I might have changed Dalton Schultz, but there really isn't much on the board at that time.
He had Hawkinson.
Kelsey already went, Andrews went, Kittle went, Waller went, Goddard went. I could have done Hawkinson. I could have done Komet.
Ertz.
I'm not a big fan of Ertz. You got Knox really late.
Yeah, but I also had Kittle as well. So
and Hurst went last.
yeah, I mean, but Hurst, he hasn't really done much. He had 2 good weeks and that's it.
So
I feel like Schultz isn't a bad pick to tell you.
He wasn't. He was supposed to be a great tight end this year.
The problem was Prescott got hurt in week 1, and then it was a snowball effect, and then Schultz got hurt. So Schultz, if you look at his last 3 weeks, he's been spectacular.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So it's actually, tell you the truth, you don't really need to change it. I probably would have gone Hawkinson.
Okay.
Or I would have picked Schultz over Ertz, to tell you the truth. I probably would have gone, honestly, Hawkinson, and that's it.
Yeah. And then I went Eli Mitchell. Well, that didn't go very well. I could have had Cordell Patterson. I could have had Rashmore Stevenson. I could have had where are we at here? I could have had Pierce.
Jamal Williams.
Yeah. There were a lot of good running backs still available. Brian Robinson.
Yeah, he's kind of fallen off though.
He's fallen off, but still.
Yeah.
Like, other than the injury prone Eli Mitchell, I could have had better.
And he's hurt again, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's some room for improvement. Then I went DeAndre Hopkins at 9. What a steal. Devontae Parker, that could change, but
I told you. Remember that was your sleeper?
That was my sleeper. I thought he was gonna do well.
Flaming garbage.
Could have had Olave. Could have had Tyler Boyd. Really not a whole lot on this board that I'm looking at. Yeah. Honestly, Boyd and Olave. So
honestly, minor changes. Like,
minor.
Who would have thought Stafford was gonna suck?
Yeah. So yeah, after Parker, I had Stafford, and that's what hurt my season at the start was Matthew Stafford. I could have had Aaron Rodgers. I could have had Kirk Cousins. I could have had Tua. No one drafted him.
No, everybody thought he was going to stink.
I think I could be on top of the leaderboard if I had Tua.
Nobody fucking knew Tua was going to ball out the way he is. And he's the product of his team, man. I had this debate with Destroyer, and he's like, oh, I'd take Tua over Herbert. What, just this year? Nah, I'd still take Herbert over Tua. Tua sucks.
He does suck, but he puts up numbers. That's all that matters.
Can't throw past 15 yards. How are you a quarterback?
I think one of the biggest steals of the draft, Tony Pollard at number 12. I had Treylon Burks. I got the 49ers defense. Honestly, though, if Treylon Burks stayed healthy and didn't get injured, if you see the numbers he's putting up right now, he'd be a good, viable steal at 13.
Of course. Oh, absolutely. But you look at your wide receiver depth, and you don't really need him.
Yeah, but who the fuck am I going to get? Naheem Hines? McKissick? Mozart? I mean, Mozart did pretty well for a few weeks.
He started off hot. He's, unfortunately, his career, he's best known for being hurt.
Yeah. So there wasn't really much on the board at that pick. So it was just more of a bench player for bye weeks.
Okay, so minimal change. Your team is still pretty good. I mean,
yeah, Niners, Carlson, Matt Ryan were my last picks. I mean, I thought Matt Ryan was going to do well. I thought he was going to be a huge sleeper for me.
So did the rest. So did the rest of the world, and he disappointed all of us.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, minor details. I mean, no one expected Cam Akers to be a big bust this year. Eli Mitchell was a gamble, but yeah, I could have had Singletary. I could have had Cordell Patterson, Rashmore Stevenson. So yeah, minor changes for me. I'm still doing well, but Melky, you have some big changes, I think.
Some monster changes, and I'm lucky that I've traded half my team, so it doesn't look like my draft results. But definitely starting at the top, my first pick was Najee. I could have had Jefferson, Chase, Tyreek Hill,
Cooper Cup.
Cooper Cup. You know what? I was gonna stay away from Cooper Cup just because Super Bowl hangover. He does a lot. There's
Yeah.
no way he was gonna be healthy. But yeah, that first pick, like Najee's been so terrible. That definitely I could have had one of the big time receivers. I got McCaffrey at number 2, which was a steal. That was a great pick there. And then number 3, shouldn't have taken Keenan Allen. There was so much more on the board I could have had. Like Jacobs. I could have reached out for a quarterback if I wanted to, but I never do. Could have had Etienne. Could have had. There's just so much I could have picked. Keenan Allen's been a big disappointment.
Yeah.
Always. I like Terry McLaurin at 4. I thought that was a steal.
Yep.
Kittle's a nice pick. Montgomery, so he's been good, but Herbert steals a lot of the touches. So I'm glad I traded him because I didn't really miss a lot from having him. But the biggest X factor, I chose Brady over Burrow. If I had taken Burrow, Jen probably is in last place, and I have a playoff spot because Burrow has been on fire this season.
I was very surprised at that when you took Brady over Burrow.
I just thought with the whole divorce thing, proving people wrong is what Brady does. His team is good. I just didn't trust a young team going to the Super Bowl and losing and maturing faster than what people thought. I thought they were going to take a step back. So that was my thinking. I'm like, Brady's got one last hurrah, but sadly, he has no hurrahs because he's been garbage, fucking garbage. And yeah, that's probably the biggest X factor. I think everything else was pretty decent. Like Sutton,
Yeah.
even Sutton's been okay, but it's been Russ that's been shit. Singletary, he's serviceable, but I traded him for Zeke, so it worked out. Kirk and Olave have been very good. Claypool, I dropped him. It was just like a last minute pick. Bills, excuse me, Bills defense, they've been good. Cousins was great. He was a trading chip. Folk, I ended up dropping anyways. And Knox, I dropped too. So if you look at the biggest flaw was the first pick and the quarterback pick.
Yeah, because like I said, you could have had Cup, you could have had Jefferson, you could have Chase, Kamara, Diggs, Barkley, Debo, and DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, there's so much I could have had before when I picked Naj. I was just thinking I honestly thought someone was gonna pick McCaffrey, and then one of those receivers were gonna slip and I was gonna get him.
Yeah,
But
like honestly, up to the second last pick of 4, all those players are better than Najee Harris.
yeah, all of them.
Yeah, like
Just Naj has been shit.
I can't see one person. Pittman Jr. maybe not.
No, he's been disappointing. But that's that's Matt Ryan.
Yeah, and DK Metcalf.
I wasn't gonna touch any Seattle player.
And more.
DJ? Yeah, I wasn't gonna
Yeah.
touch a fucking Panther player either.
So there's 3 out of the what 10, 20, 30, 38 picks. There's 3 players on there that you didn't want the rest you could have had way better for Najee Harris.
Yep. And then
So-
again, picking Brady over Burrow. That was just stupid.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm in last place, folks.
Well, like I said, everybody, in every single season of Show Us Your TDs, it's all about how you draft. Because a lot of people, they don't like to trade. So
not in our
draft
league.
well.
Fucking
And what?
I said not in our league. I dropped the P word and I'm going to edit that out. So
That's
don't worry.
okay. That's okay. But a lot, like I said, a lot of people don't like to trade. So draft well, because you're probably going to be sticking with whoever you draft. So,
Okay. Well, thank you, Goobs. That was a new segment called Redrafting. Basically, me regretting what I fucking did all season. But let's move on. Let's move on to Goobie's favorite pastime on the toilet. It's boom or bust.
all right.
I'm going to kick things off, and I'm going to go with an LA player who not really good, but he's better than Cam Akers. Let's go Kyrene Williams. He's a bust.
Big old bus.
Monster bust. Last week, he had 35 yards, 3 receptions, and 25 receiving yards. Goobs, the Rams season is all but over, which could boost Williams' fantasy prospect. But realistically, it means jack shit because LA is a dumpster fire and a team that is just a team that's just putting players out to see what they have for next season. Don't trust him. Don't trust any running back on this team because they'll just let you down entirely. He's a bust this week.
I agree. Big old bust. All right. I'm going to talk about one of the biggest games this week. Okay. I'm not talking KC Cincinnati. I'm not talking Miami versus San Francisco. I'm not even talking about Tennessee versus Philly. Nor am I talking about the NFC East, Washington versus the Giants. I'm talking Cleveland versus Houston. Probably the most watched game this weekend will be Cleveland versus Houston, and I'm talking Deshaun Watson. All right.
The king of the oils.
It's been 700 games since he played last. Since the last time we saw him throw a ball, 700 games. There's no massage tables. It's all just him. He's going up against his former team, Houston, and he's going to be a big old bust.
Yeah, not only that, those aren't the only balls he's been throwing around, man. Don't get that discouraged.
He's predicted at 26 points, and yeah, he's not going to get that. He may get 20, but it's been 700 days. This man's going to be rusty. There's no chance in hell he goes out and balls out. I mean, there's a percentage, but it's a very low percentage. Yeah, he has Amari Cooper. It will look good eventually if he can get back to his old self and play well. But like I said, 700 days played. No chance in hell that this guy's going to break 20 this week. Fantasy points. Melky, big old bust.
Oh, he's as Vince McMahon would guarantee, he's a huge bust. There's no chance in hell, like you said. And not only that, apparently some of the accusers are going to be at the game. So talk about like a huge distraction that's going to be
They're going to be
happening.
holding up like giant signs like.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a little area of like his accusers or people that have been wrongfully touched by Deshaun Watson huddled in an area of the of the stadium, boycotting and having signs and all types of horrible things.
I mean, good on Houston, because that would be huge, like home field advantage right there.
Well, yeah, it's home cooking, right? So why not rock this man, make him feel like shit, and get him to lose his first game? and a game, especially against a team that he gave up on,
Yeah. Yeah.
and a community he ruined.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's the notorious villain of Houston now.
Yeah. He's a big old bust like he does on massage tables.
Oily bust. All right. Next, we've got a name that Goobie couldn't pronounce earlier. Jamichael Hasty. He's a bust too, Goobie. He had 28 rushing yards and 67 receiving yards and a nice TD thrown by Justin by Trevor Lawrence last week. But he was able to capitalize because Etienne left early and Henderson wasn't able to play. Unfortunately for him, they're both back this Sunday, so his touches are going to be limited, and it's a shame because it's against a terrible Detroit team. I wouldn't trust him. He's a one-trick pony, a one-hit wonder. Bust.
I agree. I like a lot of people picked them up off the wire quickly. It's not going to do much for you. It's not going to win you a game. He's a big old bust.
He's a messy bust.
All right. Now I'm probably going to butcher this name too. And I am going with Zonovan Knight. With all the injuries in the backfield that the Jets have, Knight has looked like a bright spot for the run game. He picked up 17 carries for 103 yards last week. Now that was versus the 5th-ranked Chicago Run D. I think Knight will be a boom this week, facing a tougher matchup versus the Vikings. But Michael Carter doesn't look like he's going to play this week, and Ty Johnson only had 5 carries last week. I put Knight in the flex spot, hands down at this point. If you're looking to fill those bye weeks, because there are other players that obviously I would put way before Zonovan Knight, but I mean Deontay Foreman's on a bye, so pick him up, give him a shot. I think Knight is going to have a good game,
and that makes 2 of us. He's definitely worth a risk picking up and throwing in a flex. They said he looked juicy as a runner. So when anytime somebody says that, come on, that's a sign. And they were saying he fits the scheme better over Robinson. So that's incentive right there. And you alluded, Carter is probably not playing. And last but not least, his nickname is Bam. Take a chance on him. He's a boom this week.
He's a bam this week.
Bam, bam.
All right. That's it for Boomer Bust.
Take us home, Goobie. Take us home.
I was going to say that. Let's take it home. Bring it all the way back down to our last segment of the night. Toonie Bets. Melky, who do you got?
Got a nice, fat, juicy game on the docket with the 49ers versus the Dolphins. And I'm taking the 49ers. It's in the Bay. Tua's facing a real defense. Bosa will make his life a living hell. We'll finally see what Tua is made of, facing a good team, a competitive team. And he's going to have to do more than just throw 15 yards to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. So I like the 49ers. They want to keep a distance from them and the Seahawks in that division. So look for the Seahawks to smother the Dolphins with their defense this week.
So wait, you're saying I shouldn't start Tua and I should start Kirk Cousins versus the Jets? I don't know, Sauce Man.
I don't know, man.
Sauce Man.
I think I'd still stick with Tua. I think you can get away a little bit more with Tua opposed to Cousins.
All right.
Who you got?
Let's talk matchup of the week. And no, I'm not talking Cleveland versus Houston. I'm talking Bengals versus the Chiefs. And I'm going Bengals. I think the Bengals had their number this year. Have they played already?
No, but that was the AFC Championship last year.
Yeah, and Bengals had their number last year. I think Bengals will have their number again this year. Jamar Chase is coming back. That's gonna open up the field for Burrow. It's gonna be that four-headed monster again. Chase, Hurst, Higgins, and Boyd.
Hurst is not part of the fucking monster. If anything, you throw Mixon in there.
Yeah, I was gonna put Mixon in there, but you know
that
what?
makes 5. This isn't the Jackson 5. Hurst is not.
This is the Jackson 5.
All right. Go on.
I'm talking receivers though. I mean, Mixon's a running back, but I think the Bengals are going to look great this week. They have something to prove. I mean, they're 7-4. They made it to the Super Bowl. Like, this is their time to shine again. Go 8-4 and prove that they're still in this to win this. So I'm going to go Bengals over Chiefs.
You know what? I'm going to hop on that bandwagon and take the Bengals too, because they're playing for a lot more than just proving the doubters wrong. They're playing for the AFC North. Ravens are sputtering. This is a time to capitalize on that. Get a big win against the big bad Chiefs. Set the tone. Get your division. Get a home playoff game, because that's home cooking is what matters in the playoffs. I don't care what you say. It's hard to win on the road. And Joe Cool always performs when it matters.
Yeah.
Plus, the spark plug Chase is coming back. That just means more points for Cincinnati. Let's go, Bengals.
All right. Melky, any last words?
Well, that's a wrap, Goobie. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Goobs, for being my partner in crime. And we are done, just like the Liver King's career. Is there anything you want to add, Goobie, as we close this out?
Yeah, I just noticed that we're not recording.
Yeah.
You should have seen his face, people. Melky was about to freak out. No, I'm good, man. I just got over COVID, so I'm just kind of maxing and relaxing this weekend. I thank you for doing this with me. Thank you for shooting the shit with me. Season's almost over. Well, playoffs are about to over. But yeah, playoffs are about to start. We got 2 more weeks. I think if I win one, I'm automatically in. So let's hope I win one this week, and I don't have to worry about the week after that. So yeah, but thank you, Not After 30, Anthony. Everybody check out the Mustard Podcast. We're shooting next Friday, so yeah, I'm stoked, man. I can't wait for the playoffs to start.
Yeah, you probably want to play out your best the next 2 weeks so you can get a bye at least. Those buys are important.
I don't think I'm gonna get a bye, but
anything's possible.
Any given Sunday.
And that's it, buddy. And I want to just piggyback up what Goobie said. Thank you, NA30, Anthony, El Jefe, the Don, Magic Wand. Thank you for putting up with us. Thank you all for taking the time to listen to us talk X's and O's incorrectly, but still, we're still talking X's and O's. We do it for you. It's just always fun. So thank you so much. And yeah, going back to the Liver King, I can't believe he thought he was going to get away with lying to people and saying he is all natural. That's a bunch of shit. Looking at his body, you could tell he was jacked. You want to know something crazy? Do you know how much he pays a month for steroids?
Oh, probably tens of thousands.
Was it 120? No, sorry, $12,000 a month for steroids.
Yeah.
$12,000 a month to juice up.
If you want to look at Au Naturel, it's right here, baby.
And if you don't know what Goobie looks like, you should look him up on his Instagram, and you'll get a better picture of what Au Naturel is.
Yeah, it's tacos, burgers, and beer.
Your poor toilet. All right, I'm Melk. That's Goobie, and we are going to take a play out of the Watson Massage Handbook and slip away.
Gross.